Somebody submitted a question asking that they found that EKS recreated a node, deleted the old one and created a new one. They were not expecting this. They were not using spot instances. So why is this happening and how can they avoid this in the future? So first of all, when using EKS, there is two ways to provision your compute nodes if you're not using Fargate. You can either use managed node groups, which under the hood rely on autoscaling groups, or you can use Carpenter, which uses something called EC2 fleets, which just provisions single standalone EC2 instances. In none of those cases, you have a strong guarantee that the same server will stay alive and online for years to come. If you have data on this server that you care about, this data should be stored on a network block device on a disk that, in case the server gets replaced, simply gets reattached again. Even if you would be provisioning single EC2 instances outside of EKS, there's always the possibility of a hardware maintenance event, for example, sometimes scheduled, sometimes surprisingly. Therefore, nodes being replaced is basically part of the game. When purchasing an EC2 instance, you basically are purchasing a specific type of instance and not a single specific virtual machine. That's the short answer. How can you avoid this? Plan for it. So this is unavoidable. This will happen sooner or later in any Kubernetes cluster on a public cloud provider. You can architect your workloads in a way where they will handle this gracefully. If you have requirements to run a highly available workload, you probably want to run more than one copy, more than one replica of the pod on more than one node, maybe even distributed across separate data centers. Basically, if you have stateful data that the workload depends on, this should be living on the disk that can then simply be reattached once your workload gets started up again. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but unfortunately there is no way to avoid this.